Barrett Clements from Creekside Church of Christ in Greenville, Texas. We all love Christmas. The tree, the decorations, the family, the food. But as a kid, the best part was the presents. As a kid, I would always love the presents. But what about the ones that weren't as fun? You pick up the present from grandma, and as you unwrap it, the anticipation builds. And then you pull it out of the wrapping. And it's socks. What a disappointing present. As a kid, that was a letdown. You were expecting toys or candy. You were discontent with what you got. Let's turn to Philippians 4:11 through 13. I rejoiced greatly in the Lord that at last you renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you were concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. I'm not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I've learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through Christ who strengthens me. Paul's saying that no matter what, I am content because Christ strengthens me through the hard times. Because here's that word, content. What does that word mean? According to the dictionary, it says to be satisfied with your current situation. Where is Paul when he writes Philippians? I mean, 5 guys just told you, but he's in prison. He's one of the worst possible spots he could be, and he is rejoicing and praising God for the work he can do in prison. He's content no matter the circumstance. Can we find contentment in the world today? In the hustle and bustle of life, there is no sense of real everlasting accomplishment. You can have the right car, degree, the right looks or other things, but it's never enough. The world always wants more. The stuff the world has, it can't be contenting, because it's temporary. Is the love of Jesus temporary? No. Paul finds real contentment in Jesus, and that's what the church needs to do. What are things, real things that Christians can find contentment in? Just like Paul, we find contentment in Jesus. Our situations are way better than his. It is way easier to be content when we live in a world of freedom and comfort in America. Paul finds contentment not in his physical self, where he is and what he's feeling right now. Christian contentment in a discontented world is hard. But look at Paul's mindset. Let's continue reading in verse 16. For even at Thessalonica you sent aid once and again for my necessities. Not that I seek the gift, but the fruit that abounds to your account. Remember, Paul's in jail. He's probably hungry. And when he gets the gift from the Philippians, he cares more about the deed of the giving to him than the actual gift. That's the way to see it. Christian contentment is so important. When you got those socks for Christmas, it was disappointing, sure. But as you got older, you began to appreciate it more. I just finished a book for school. Has anyone read The Count of Monte Cristo? Spoiler alert, but in it, a man named Dante is falsely accused by jealous rivals and thrown in prison on the eve of his wedding. For 14 years, he sits in jail, contemplating how he will exact his revenge. It isn't he meticulously plans and schemes on how to bring the wrongdoers down. And when he miraculously escapes, exacts revenge, it isn't what he thought it would be. It didn't make him feel better. It made him feel terrible inside. He thought it would make him content. He thought it would fulfill him to bring down those men. But by the novel's conclusion, Dante abandons revenge. He shows mercy where he once would have demanded punishment, helps those he can, and leaves to start a better life. While he thought revenge would fulfill him, make his life better, it didn't. He didn't feel content, but he could have been through Jesus, if it weren't a fiction novel. But bring it to the real world. What are things the world sees as contenting? Cars, degrees? Those are what Paul had. I mean, before he got converted, Paul had the equivalent of those things. He was a Jewish law enforcement, a Pharisee, and he was also a scholar. He probably had a high-paying job, and they didn't have cars back then, but Paul would have had a cool one. But Paul didn't say those things are what made him content. It was his faith in Jesus. Through contentment, we can see the other side of things. Like Paul, in verse 16, chapter 4, he had just looked at the gift the Philippians gave him and said, "Thank you," and then walked off. But he saw how the Philippian church had done a good deed. Your grandma did a good deed. You just saw the disappointment of getting socks because you were a kid. You didn't see as much. But as an adult, you saw how those socks were hand-knitted, made with passion and love. That's how it is for content Christians. The things we are blessed with become more apparent, just like Paul. We don't know what the gift was that he received, It could have been a bag of chips for all we know, but he was passionate in seeing the love and care the Philippian church showed him. How can being discontent change the way we think about our life? Whenever something bad happens to us, it would be easy to review God. Wouldn't it have been easy for Paul to do that? Yes. He could have cursed God and complained, "Is this my reward? Is this what I get for serving you?" But he sees the opportunities when he's there to talk to the palace guards. Will it be hard to be content? Will it be hard to press on? The real meaning of "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me," it's not "I can climb the mountain" or "I can win my sports game." It means that we can press on through the hard trials, to stay content, to be like Christ. The world can't be the source of contentment. To be content like Paul is hard, but we know how. Stick to Jesus when things get hard and when it's tempting to not be content. Philippians 4:13, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Jesus is with us no matter the state we are, even in prison. The secret to contentment is found in Jesus Christ.